Hi guys, my name is Nancy Mitchell, the Love Guru, your guide to better relationships. And yes, this is day 4, guys, day 4. This entire series for this week is for Halloween, okay? It's a Halloween. This is so much horror going through people's relationship. And for one, that's domestic violence. And then this month, again, is going to be for domestic violence as well. So I'm touching, making sure that I touch it before the end of the month, to just bring awareness to it and let people start looking at their relationship to see if they're going through some abuse. It can be physical, can be emotional, can be verbal. If you're going through some abuse, you're going to need help, okay? So let's get into it, guys. Day 4. Let me go ahead and give you that number just in case you know somebody that's experiencing domestic violence or yourself is experiencing that. Call 1-800-799-7233. I'm going to repeat. Call 1-800-799-7233. Okay, let's get into it. Number 4, or day 4, I should say, is going to be financial and practical barriers. That's one of the things that these abusers use against you. They make sure they support you. They give you everything that you need, making you feel like there's nowhere else to go but them. Okay? Now, breaking free when money holds you back. Let's look at some of the signs that you're going to see in your relationship. That is going to be financial when it comes on to domestic violence. Number 1, the abuser controls the finance. So whether you're making your money, he's making his money, doesn't matter. Once they are controlling all your finances, where everything is concerned, that's a problem. You need to make sure that you have your own control over your own money, and you're not giving your money to him or not putting it in a joint account where he's controlling it. No. Number 2, limit access to transportation. So if you've realized that your relationship that you have with your spouse, your boo, your husband, your wife, if you realize your transportation to go anywhere, do anything, is controlled by them. They're driving you there. They're picking you back up constantly. There is no way that you have control over your own transportation. That's a problem. Okay? That is a problem. If this is something that you like and you love, then fine. Go ahead. But if this is something that you don't want, this is something that you want to have your own control on, and they're controlling it, then guys, you need to start taking a closer look at your relationship. Okay? Number 3, fear of homelessness if leaving. So if you have that fear, if you're leaving and you don't know what you're going to do, you're not too sure where you're going to live because everything is under his support, all the finance and everything is under his support, then you have to find another way to get out. You always have to remember, ladies, guys, yes, some of you experience this as well, but this is for the ladies. You must know that no matter what problems you have in life, I don't care what problems you have in life, there's always a solution. There's always a solution. There is always a way for you to make a choice. Okay? And when you make that choice, making sure that you are going to be benefiting from that choice that you make, not somebody else. Very important. Okay? Number 4, depending on abuser for basic needs, that go right back to them having control of your finances. So if your basic needs, you need, say, sanitary napkins, you need soap, you need, hair products, your basic stuff, he is the one that's controlling that. Ladies, you got a problem. For those ladies that love to be dependent on guys, I'm going to say this. I like to be independent. However, I do understand that if a guy is in your life, he needs to support. He needs to do something financially for you. I agree with that. I support it. However, if you're in a relationship with a husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whatever, you have to always make sure you got your money. I don't care. If you don't have a job, you need to figure that job situation out. Figure something out for you to have your own money. Nothing feels good when you have your own money. God bless the child that got his own. You have to have your own money. Doesn't matter what your boo is doing. Doesn't matter, okay? So if you're seeing those signs, here are some solutions for these signs. Number one, contact organization offering financial aid to survivors. There's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of churches out there. There's a lot of organization out there that gives assistance to survivors. Okay, so let's get into our solutions, okay? Solutions, I can't talk. Solutions are going to be contacting organization offering financial aid to survivors. There's a lot of organizations out there that cater to survivors. You know, you can look at churches, you can look at groups, you can look at, companies that deals with domestic violence. They assist you into getting out of that situation, emotionally. They give you financial support. So once you look for that, you can move out of that situation safely. Number two is going to be to research safe shelters and transitional housing. So the housing that is there are a lot of transitional housing that you can, especially ladies with kids. I know you're worried about, oh my God, how am I going to provide for my child? How am I going to provide for my kids? What am I going to do? How am I going to support them? Let me tell you something. Don't ever worry about that. I'm telling you, don't worry about that. If you're in this situation, you need to get out first. And then you start worrying about that. Because if you start thinking about that, you will never leave. If you start thinking about that, you will never leave. You always have to know that any situation that you're in, there's always going to be a solution. There's always a solution for every single problem in this world. And every problem that you're in, I can tell you, once you find one solution, it doesn't work, you look for another one. And you continue until you find, because there is a solution. Okay? So get out of the situation very safe, or I should say safely. And then after getting out of that situation, then you start looking at, whichever shelter or organization that you're with, then you start looking to see, okay, how am I going to do this? How am I going to send my kids to school? How am I going to get, support to help them? All of that will come eventually. Okay. The most important thing is to get yourself out of the situation first. Okay. You don't want to have the situation and then after years and years, you find out that, this person harmed you, you passed on, and then your kids are left into that situation with this person. Very important. Okay. Number three, create personal emergency fund if possible. So sometimes it's not possible with however you're in that relationship or the person that you're with. Sometimes it's possible, sometimes it's not. And a good way to do that is your friends and family. And I would want to say more family. So if you have like sometimes parents can be bad, yes, but once you have a good parent and they're looking out for you and you realize that you're working and you can save $1, give them $1 and put it in an account where this abuser know nothing about. You have to start making these emergency funds. Okay. And number 4 is going to be exploring legal options for financial protection. So there's so many different options out there that you can assist with. Again, these organizations that helps domestic females or domestic violent females, they have a lot of stuff that is already set up. Okay, so you can start looking into that and making sure that you're making the right choice for you and your family, for you and your kids, if you do have kids in that situation. Okay, guys, there you have it. That's day 4. This is the end of it. I am going to go over that number in case you know anyone that's going through domestic violence. If you yourself are going through domestic violence, please go ahead and call 1-800-799-7233. Call 1-800-799-7233. There you have it, guys. My name is Nancy Mitchell. I'm with Love Guru, your guide to better relationship. Peace. I'm out.